90 Day Fiance Season 11, Sarper Güven and Shekinah Garner's tensions rise ahead of their wedding. There are many reasons why the 90 Day Fiance franchise is such a successful group of reality shows. For example, even though the franchise's cast members sign strict NDAs, fans love that they've learned an incredible amount about them. After all, there are headlines about 90 Day Fiance cast members allegedly facing false accusations, going to prison, going through IVF, and even about their cause of death. Of course, some 90 Day Fiancé headlines are about relationship troubles, including people moving on after divorce to start new relationships. While some 90 Day Fiancé stars have left their spouse, Sarper Güven and Shekinah Garner may never get that far as they are fighting before their planned wedding date. Sarper Güven and Shekinah Garner fought about her ex, Dan. In many ways, it is shocking that any of the 90 Day Fiancé couples make it to the altar. After all, as any of the franchise's fans will already know, the couples have to survive a lot of strife that would tear apart many romantic pairs. Of course, there is all the tension that comes with one of the partners moving across the world and away from everything they'd known. On top of the obvious culture shock that would cause, the couples also have to cope with all the pressure that comes from putting their relationship in front of the world. For those reasons, it likely shouldn't surprise anyone that, before they are set to walk down the aisle, Sarper Güven and Shekinah Garner have been fighting. However, the interesting thing is that Shekinah and Sarper have been arguing over something really relatable, an ex who is still in the picture. In May 2025, In Touch Weekly published a recap of the 14th episode of 90 Day Fiancé's 11th season. That article quoted the couple arguing over Shekinah's ongoing friendship with her ex-boyfriend, Dan. A lot of viewers will be able to relate to Sarper's frustrations that Shekinah is close with her ex and her anger at his attempts to control who is in her social circle. As In Touch Weekly's article detailed, the argument got started when Sarper asked Shekinah to give him feedback on his recent stand-up comedy performance. During that performance, Sarper made a mean joke about Shekinah's ex, Dan. When asked about the performance, Shekinah told Sarper that she could have done without the Dan joke. Shekinah was also shown in a confessional interview complaining about Sarper trying to control who she is friends with. "He can't just come to LA and blow up my friend group because that affects my life here too." While defending her friendship with Dan while talking to Sarper, Shekinah pointed out that she never actually slept with Dan before they broke up. Shekinah then argued that she believes that makes her friendship with Dan a lot less complicated. Shekinah also brought up that Dan showed up to Sarper's comedy show to support him. "I'll admit it. I don't get why Sarper Güven is suddenly a fan favorite. Did 90 Day Fiancé fans forget he's a bad boy? Sarper Güven is suddenly a fan favorite cast member on 90 Day Fiancé Season 11, and this really puzzles me as a viewer." Shekinah Garner from Los Angeles and Sarper met in Turkey, where she was vacationing with a friend. Shekinah fell head over heels for the model, actor, and personal trainer Sarper. She decided to move to Turkey, even though Shekinah returned every other week to spend time with her daughter. The decision took a toll on Sarper and Shekinah's relationship, exposing the cracks that confirmed they shouldn't have been together in the first place. However, in the past few months, the fandom of Sarper has grown. Sarper is being praised for being a 90 Day Fiancé partner who is genuine and cares for his partner. Sarper is liked by fans as he has never cheated on Shekinah and has them convinced that he might love Shekinah as much as he loves himself. Sarper now has more green flags than red in his repertoire, which makes me question if we're even talking about the same person. Sarper was extremely controlling of Shekinah. Sarper has a sketchy past too. About a month before she moved to Turkey, Sarper told Shekinah that he had slept with over 2,500 women. "I found it funny that she thought it was a typo, because while 250 was still a lot for her, she was okay with letting it slide." However, Sarper responded by saying it was between 2,500 and 3,000. He admitted that he used to have sex with 4.5 women a day, but said Shekinah is all he thinks about now. Shekinah was nothing if not dedicated to trying to make her relationship with Sarper work. However, I despised how Sarper exhibited controlling behavior towards Shekinah on 90 Day Fiancé. The other way, Sarper was in control of Shekinah Garner's fitness and dressing sense as soon as she landed in Turkey. To me, it became evident that Sarper didn't like it when his fiancée was speaking up for herself. He didn't obey her and even refused to make their relationship Instagram official. In his People interview, Sarper admitted that if he were in Shekinah's shoes, he wouldn't easily trust a man with his past either. However, somehow, viewers seem to have forgotten everything Sarper did in his previous spin-offs. Sarper has a terrible temper. Sarper has caused Shekinah pain. During an episode of 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way Season 6, Shekinah claimed Sarper had ripped out her hair extensions during a supposedly physical altercation. They had been fighting over Shekinah, fearing that her family wouldn't approve of Sarper. Shekinah had informed Sarper that her mother and sisters weren't talking to her because of their relationship. According to Shekinah, Sarper pulled out her hair extensions during a physical altercation that was not captured on camera. However, Sarper claimed that he was simply trying to take her phone, and one of her hair extensions came out as he grabbed it. Sarper insulted Shekinah in front of her sister. Sarper embarrassed and humiliated his partner. Shekinah's sister, Sharia, had traveled to Turkey to meet Sarper. I was shocked when he started calling Shekinah by **** in front of her. He left a very bad impression on Sharia when he not only hurled several insults at her sister but also dubbed himself an alpha male. Sharia had also noticed how controlling Sarper was of her sister when Shekinah mentioned the empty alcohol bottles in his apartment with memories of his past escapades attached to him. And the 90 Day Fiancé star fired back by stating he didn't like being told what to do. 90 Day Fiancé's Sarper Güven reaches first huge milestone in US. After struggling to adjust to Shekinah's tiny LA home. Sarper Güven from 90 Day Fiancé announced his first major milestone in the United States. Sarper, a Turkish man, began a relationship with Shekinah Garner, a native of Los Angeles, after meeting through a dating app. They dated for a while before deciding to marry. In 90 Day Fiancé Season 11, Sarper came to the United States on a K-1 visa. He moved into Shekinah's apartment in Los Angeles, which he believed to be too small for him. He was surprised to find that Shekinah had converted her kitchen into her beauty clinic and didn't want him to cook there. Sarper may have been displeased with Shekinah's living situation, but he has found joy in the American lifestyle. Recently, Sarper announced a significant career achievement on social media, sharing that he has gained popularity on Cameo. Sarper revealed that he has created thousands of personalized videos for his fans, with 1,500 plus cameos, 451 all 5 ratings. He did not request these ratings. Sarper encouraged his fans to book more of his cameos to benefit from his black wisdom. He mentioned, average video length 331 minutes. I'm cute but I need to mute, implying that he may talk too much in his cameo clips. What Sarper's career achievement means for his future. Sarper has adapted comfortably to life in America. Sarper's recent achievements suggest that he is starting to settle in the United States. Initially, he wasn't very impressed with American life, particularly because of Shekinah's small apartment and her rules. However, as he started to grasp the meaning of being an American and how to capitalize on his appearance on reality TV, he began to enjoy his life more. In the past few months, Sarper has shared several new milestones on social media. Previously, he uploaded a video of himself training people at the gym and appeared content to be working as a fitness trainer again. Amazing to see Sarper achieve a high 5-star rating on Cameo. He always enjoys posting videos of himself interacting with his fans. He has created a series of clips discussing his bad boy persona and sharing his thoughts on dating. With his presence on Cameo, Sarper now has the perfect platform to share his opinions with fans. He has finally found a way to be authentic while also earning money. Sarper's announcement that he has completed over 1,500 Cameo requests also indicates that he has already earned a hefty income on the platform. Our take on Sarper's growing popularity. Sarper's personality has grown on viewers. While it is interesting to see Sarper grow as a celebrity, it will be even more entertaining to watch him grow in his relationship with Shekinah. Initially, Sarper and Shekinah weren't a fan-favorite couple because of their loud personalities. However, some fans have since warmed up to the couple and accepted them for who they are. Still, some believe that Sarper and Shekinah's relationship isn't genuine and won't last in the long term. The end of 90 Day Fiance season May 11th reveal whether Sarper and Shekinah are truly compatible. 90 Day Fiance, Shekinah Garner should never have been cast. I don't think she's the right fit because of her red flags. Even though Shekinah Garner and Sarper Güven have grown on fans and have started to look like the perfect match, I still think that this 90 Day Fiancé won't last long, all thanks to Shekinah's many red flags. Shekinah is an esthetician from Los Angeles who met actor, model, personal trainer, and former exotic dancer, Sarper, during a Turkey trip. Shekinah was impressed by Sarper's makeup skills. While Sarper wasn't looking for a serious relationship, he decided he could change his playboy ways for the American beauty. However, as Sarper began imposing restrictive and controlling behaviors on Shekinah, he came across as selfish. Shekinah was made to shut up when Sarper talked. Shekinah seemed to like being bossed around, but she drew a line when it was time for Sarper to come to America. Since the reins of the relationship were in her hands now, to me, Sarper has started to look like a saint compared to Shekinah, who is running the show and dismissing his needs while doing things that benefit her. Shekinah is too jealous. Shekinah's insecurities were exposed on camera when Shekinah first joined Sarper at his gym in Istanbul and saw him with a client named Ezgi. She was instantly bitten by the green-eyed monster. She watched Sarper train the woman for about 2 seconds and pulled him aside to remind him they'd talked about female clients. She immediately left the gym, miffed since she'd assumed it was going to be a male client. I watched her telling the cameras that she'd asked Sarper not to have any women as clients and not to kiss women on the cheek while greeting them, and he was doing both with Ezgi, adding to Shekinah's frustration. He can have his little time with his client. I'm not gonna sit and watch it. 30 minutes later, Shekinah sat in the gym dressing room, sucking on a lollipop. Sarper was angry with Sarper, wondering what he had done wrong. You didn't catch me on a bed with another woman, he declared. Sarper snapped at Shekinah as he tried to convince her that kissing on the cheek was a tradition. You shouldn't do it, you're dating an American girl now, she told her boyfriend, making an angry Sarper pull the lollipop out of her mouth and throw it on the floor. However, Shekinah couldn't understand why Sarper was being disrespectful when she was the one feeling uncomfortable. I watched how Shekinah didn't let Sarper have the last laugh. She punished him after finding out that 90% of his clients were women. She said it was shocking news to her. It made Shekinah feel uncomfortable given Sarper's past. She didn't understand when Sarper told her he needed to train women as it was his job and he needed to make money. It appears Turkey doesn't have a lot of women trainers, hence men had to take up lady clients. Shekinah set rules for Sarper that led to his financial situation becoming increasingly worse. Before Shekinah, I was doing financially good as a personal trainer. Sarper revealed that since his clients were 90% women, his income had been cut by 90%. He had no savings left. It was all due to Shekinah's jealousy and her inability to put her trust in Sarper, with whom she wanted to spend the rest of her life. Shekinah is controlling with her partner. The tables have turned for Sarper and Shekinah. In an interview with Parade, Shekinah spoke about how they did not stick to traditional gender roles in their relationship. She revealed that early on in the relationship, she had decided that she would be the one going to meet Sarper all the time. It made her feel like she was stepping out of her feminine role and being more masculine. Shekinah wanted to look like a pursuer, and this is how she justified Sarper paying for her flights. I guess since Shekinah thought Sarper was never coming to the US to be with her, he had to take care of the bills for her flights. He said, I will do that. And so he always has. Shekinah also confessed that Sarper was doing more than just paying for Shekinah's flight tickets with the little money he had left in his bank. He was also covering everything for her when she went to Turkey. Shekinah admitted that she had never paid for anything when she was with Sarper. I'm sure she was saving a lot of money when she went to Turkey because she never reached for her wallet. Shekinah knew that Sarper was dipping into his savings a lot, and she even felt bad about it. But at the same time, he's a grown man. He can figure it out, she added. Shekinah carries a lot of anger. Shekinah is just as short-tempered as Sarper, if not more. A fight between Shekinah and Sarper turned physical during an episode of 90 Day Fiance, the other way when he tried to snatch her phone away and ended up pulling out her hair extensions. Sarper admitted that he regretted what he did and accepted that he was mad at the time, but his emotions changed the next day. He knew he had made a mistake when he grabbed her phone. He mentioned he could have been more calm because his intention wasn't to hurt Shekinah. I'm convinced all Sarper wants from Shekinah is for her to be happy. Strangely enough, Shekinah forgave Sarper for his actions. Her decision to excuse his bad behavior was looked down upon by viewers. Shekinah was called out for setting a bad example for her daughter because she took Sarper back despite him having done something inexcusable. Then again, Shekinah has revealed her angry side on camera several times, just like her partner. Shekinah was furious when she returned to Turkey and noticed that Sarper hadn't gotten rid of the bottles on his shelf, which reminded him of the 2,500 women he'd slept with. Sarper had failed to understand why Shekinah had come to his house with this mood, and she snapped at him by saying it was his apartment that had made her feel upset. Shekinah proceeded to pull out a binder containing 143 pages of a love letter an ex-boyfriend had written to her as she weaponized it to give Sarper a taste of his own medicine. Viewers also watched Shekinah storming off the set of The Other Way Tell All when she became upset about a woman named Didi confronting her. I've dealt with this past ever since we met and I'm tired of it. Sarper had met the American woman online and was still in touch with her, which offended Shekinah. Didi had a lot to say about Sarper and Shekinah's relationship, including her theory that Sarper was put off by Shekinah's possessiveness. However, Shekinah ultimately left the set in anger, saying she was sick of hearing about Sarper's past from his bottle collection to his notebook to Didi. She wanted Sarper to be the man she expected the 90 Day Fiance star to be. Shekinah was even angry about Sarper not coming sooner to console her backstage. 90 Day Fiance's Sarper's house cow obsession unpacked. I think it's adorable and says a lot about him. I must confess that Sarper Güven's touching interaction with the house cow on the recent episode of 90 Day Fiance has led me to believe that he possesses more redeemable qualities than initially thought. He made his debut on 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way alongside his American girlfriend, Shekinah Garner. Like many viewers, I originally assumed that this couple was simply using the show to boost their careers as influencers. My skepticism about their relationship grew even more when Sarper brought out a scale and measured Shekinah's weight, stating his preference for her to be a certain weight. I was concerned for Shekinah's safety when she left Sarper's house after an argument during which he accidentally pulled out her hair extensions. However, she later claimed that it wasn't intentional harm. I was relieved to see the couple address their issues and come to a resolution, with Sarper promising to work on his anger issues. Despite critics doubting them, the couple got engaged during 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way Season 6. Sarper's K-1 visa has been approved, and he has since moved from Turkey to the United States to marry Shekinah. Sarper's affection towards house cow warms hearts. Sarper's true affection for animals shines through. While I may not be the biggest fan of either Sarper or Shekinah, I must admit the recent episode showed some of their positive attributes. Their segment revolved around Sarper moving to the United States and discovering that Shekinah's friend has a house cow. He knelt down and kissed the cow's face, displaying affection for the domesticated animal. Sarper told the 90 Day Fiancé cameras that it was the cutest thing he had ever seen, which really touched my heart. His reaction to the cow was likely the first big green flag I noticed about him. Sarper's politeness gets praise from fans. Sarper's grounded attitude catches the attention of viewers. I believe Sarper is already gaining fans because of his politeness. Recently, a Redditor, @Havamicat, mentioned a change in Sarper's attitude, saying, could see was kindness and love from Sarper. Many others agreed that Sarper still possesses some goodness. I was surprised to see someone mention Sarper's past and provide insight into why he became a villain. Another Redditor wrote, "That fat insecure kid is still inside of him," suggesting that Sarper used the alpha male persona to boost his self-esteem. Fans believe Sarper is changing because he has finally found peace in his life and a reason to be himself. Sarper is finally shedding the villain tag. Sarper could become a beloved fan choice. A few years ago, Sarper characterized himself as a bad boy, often calling himself a red flag and reveling in his villain persona. However, I have noticed a change in Sarper over the past year. He now seems to have a newfound appreciation for life and is looking towards the future with Shekinah. Sarper has let go of the facade he used to put up to impress women and has found his true soulmate with whom he feels comfortable. In my opinion, Sarper has the potential to be the standout star of 90 Day Fiance Season 11. What happened to Shekinah Garner and Sarper Güven after 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way Season 6? Sarper Güven and